Hey everyone, we are going to learn how to add mixed numbers with like denominators. There's a couple different strategies, just depending kind of on what the numbers are. So if you have something like, let's see, 5 and 3/8 plus 2 and 2/8. So our denominators are 8, which is great that we're halfway there. So we're actually going to keep our denominator of 8. Now, this is a pretty simple problem because if I add the numerators, 3 plus 2, that gives me 5, which is a normal fraction, so that's good. And then really all I'm going to do is I'm going to add my whole number plus my whole number, so 5 plus 2 is 7. So you have 7 and 5/8. That's a pretty simple one. So kind of a more complicated one, and really any time you feel like you want to convert or change the mixed number into an improper fraction, add them, you'll just have to make sure you change them back into a mixed number. And sometimes it's just a lot easier to do that. So let's go ahead and look at a problem like this one. We're going to have 3 and 2/7 plus 2 and 5/7. So watch what happens here. We know, oh no, what happened, how I got closer. We know that our denominator is going to be 7. But watch what happens here. I have 2 plus 5 in my numerator, which equals 7. Oh, you see that? Our numerator and our denominator are equal. Okay, and then we're going to add 3 plus 2 equals 5. Well, we're not going to leave it as 5 and 7/7 because what do we know about 7/7? We know that 7/7 is actually equal to 1 whole. So really, we have 5 plus 1 whole gives us the answer of 6. Okay, so let's do one more of those that's a little bit different. So this time, we're going to have 2 and 3/4 plus 1 and 3/4. Well, you can already see that our numerators, 3 plus 3, is definitely greater than our denominator. But let's go through it. So our denominator is still 4. 3 plus 3 gives me 6. And then I'm going to add my whole numbers. 2 plus 1 equals 3. But what do we know about this fraction? It's improper. We can't leave it like that. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to change this to a mixed number. And we know how to do that because this means divided by. So 6 divided by 4, or how many times does 4 go into 6? Okay, let's do that real quick. 6 divided by 4. Because remember, we have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. We have 6 of those. So that's 4/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Well, I know that 4/4 equals 1 whole. So 1, 2, 3. There's 1 whole, and then I have 2/4 left over. 4 goes into 6 2 times. Nope. 1 time, and that equals 4. So we're going to subtract 4, and 6 minus 4 is 2. So this is our whole number, 1. Our denominator is still 4, and our remainder is 2. So 6/4 is actually equal to 1 and 2/4. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this for a second, and we're just going to look at our whole number and then our mixed number. So now this is pretty easy. We're going to add 3 plus 1 gives us 4. And then our fraction is 2/4, which I know that 2 is half of 4, so we can reduce this or simplify this to 4 1/2. Okay, so those are a couple different ways to add mixed numbers with like denominators. Let's look at one more. So this time I'm going to do 5 4/5 plus 3 3/5. So I'm going to show us that we can always change these into improper fractions or fractions, add and then change them back. So we remember our shortcut. 5 times 5 equals 25 plus 4 equals 29/5 plus 5 times 3 equals 15 plus 3 equals 18/5. Now I'm going to have to go add 29 plus 18. 9 plus 8 is 17. Carry the 1. 47. So we have 47/5. Well, I'm going to change that into a mixed number, so I'm going to divide. So I have 47 divided by 5. 5 goes into 47. Well, you can count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 9 times gets me really close. So I subtract 45. That gives me a remainder of 2. So our whole number is 9. Our denominator is still 5. And we have 2 left over. So this is our answer. Because if you were to look at this, 5, and you just add the whole numbers, 5, 6, 7, you'd have 8. But if you add 4 plus 3, that's actually going to be an improper fraction. Okay? So that is adding mixed numbers with like denominators.